Mr. Kershaw, how do you feel about televising parliamentary debates?
I'm going to be against it because I think that our form of debate in the chamber is something which is not easily translatable into television media. I also think that the people who will get on the television will be the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition, and the boys who make trouble, who are not necessarily typical of our arrangements.
You don't think that it would possibly improve the standard of debate?
I can't see that it will, and also who's going to edit it, you see? We can't have the thing on the whole time. It'll be up to you to decide which is the newsworthy thing that's been done that day. Of course you'll want the Prime Minister, of course you'll want one or two of the leaders, but the other chaps will be the ones, the loudmouths. We've got a few of them, you know, and we're not particularly proud of them. We don't want to see them on the telly all the time.
How about you, Mr. Atkinson?
I'm in favour, and I think we're in the business of communication. And it seems an impossible situation to me to say that here we're trying to communicate with people, and yet the number one means of communication is to be denied to us. So I'm all in favour, very big yes from me, and I hope let's get ahead with it, both radio and television.
But how about Mr. Kershaw's point that the troublemakers are going to create more trouble just to grab the cameras?
Well, I don't think so. I suppose there's all sorts of problems always arise as to who in fact participates in debates, who is called by the Speaker, and the Speaker's likely to be as much a villain in this piece as the editor of the programme. So, you know, there is a balance here, and I'm not worried about that. I don't fear that there are all these comedians about who want to hog cameras and so on. No, I think it will be a serious effort at projecting the debates in the House of Commons, and on the whole I think it will raise the standard, you know. I think this will improve things in the House rather than detract from the value of the debate at the moment.
Thank you. Mr. Phipps, how do you feel about televising Parliament?
Well, I've only been in Parliament for just on a year, and I must say before I came in I would have said almost certainly I would like to see it televised. Having been here a year, I've changed my opinion almost completely. I would now think it would destroy much of what goes on in the chamber if it were televised. I think one of the difficulties is that a totally erroneous view of Parliament, of what goes on in the chamber, will be transmitted every night by you people. In fact, I see the danger lying as much in with you people as it does with us. Despite what Norman says, you know, my erudite statements on the oil taxation bill are not going to be the sort of thing you'll show. What you're going to show is one of our troublemaker was the phrase used, but that's probably too strong, but one of our news hounds jumping up and down. You know, we're going to have, supposing he was still here, the Sir Gerald Nabarro show or Harold's Half Hour. And I don't think this is the sort of picture that the public ought to get. I do agree with Norman, communications is important, but I think we're in grave danger of communicating a completely false impression of what the House is about.
Well, I'm in favour of televising Parliament. I've had some experience of this, of course, as leader of Camden Council, when our council meetings were televised on several occasions. The reaction from the public at seeing us working in the council chamber was very favourable, and I think it gave them an insight into the fact that public representatives really do work and take things seriously.
Mr. Beith, how do you feel about televising Parliament?
I'm very much in favour of the broadcasting of Parliament, both on radio and television, and I think my colleagues in the Liberal Party are united behind me in this. What is really so depressing is that the standard of behaviour in the House, I think, it reflects the fact that not enough public notice is given to what goes on there. If some of the things that are seen in the House of Commons were really seen on television, I think the place would improve pretty dramatically.